Yo, what's poppin' Pokepals? Rare Boy here, and I'm back with another episode of Champions Challenge, where I take infamous trainers from the Pokemon universe and put them in the player's shoes. Could they themselves do what the player's challenge should do in every Pokemon game? Can they become the champion of the region they're placed in? Today's contender is none other than Ash Ketchum and his Alolan team, who will attempt to become the champion of the Hoenn region. Why Ash's Alolan team specifically? It's because at the time of this video, Ash has only become the champion of one region, that being Alola. So theoretically, this should be his strongest possible team. By now, I'm sure you all have a few questions, and I'll do my best to alleviate most of them right now as I go over the rules of this run. The first rule is that I'm only allowed to use the Pokemon Ash had on his Alolan team when he became champion. We can capture other Pokemon for HM usage, but that's all they're allowed to be used for. Some of you may be wondering why I have a Torracat and not Incineroar, and that's because Torracat didn't fight after he evolved into an Incineroar. So while Ash has owned an Incineroar, he never used it during his champion match. In case you're wondering how I obtained these Pokemon, our starter is going to be Pikachu for obvious reasons, and then I will mod in Pokemon to encounter along the way, obtaining one Pokemon every 2 gyms or so, with the more powerful Pokemon being obtained later in the run. The second rule is that my levels need to be equal to the levels of this game's champion, meaning my ace cannot surpass the champion's ace as a means of avoiding over-leveling. And the last rule is that I must use the exact or similar movesets the contender used. Special thanks to JamesAwesome24 for the Pokemon and movesets. So for example, Ash's Rowlet in the anime has Razor Leaf, Seed Bomb, Feather Dance, and Brave Bird. Since Seed Bomb and Brave Bird aren't in Pokemon Ruby, I have to replace them with similar moves, those being Bullet Seed and Sky Attack. And that's pretty much it. With the rules explained in Ash's Pokemon in-game, let's just jump into some gameplay. The first thing that I do is pick up Ash's Pikachu from Professor Birch's bag. For this run, I replaced Trico so that May receives Torchic as her starter to keep with the anime theme we have going on here. Aside from having Ash's Alolan hat on, he's also holding a light ball, which I think is fair considering how powerful Ash's Pikachu is compared to other Pikachus. With Pikachu on our team, it's time to find out if Ash can become the champion of the Hoenn region. I took on May right away at level 6, as our Light Ball boosted Thundershock was enough to defeat her with only 2 hits. In Petalburg Woods, we got our first new member of the team, Rowlett, who we capture, and it turns out he has an adamant nature, which isn't great since he's gonna have 2 grass moves by the end of this run, but it is what it is. Roxanne's fight was very easy thanks to Rowlet learning both Bullet Seed as well as Razor Leaf before this fight, which, by the way, are 2 moves he will have for his final moveset. In Granite Cave, we got our next member of the team, Rockruff, who was a little difficult to capture until I paralyzed her. Half of our team is already on our party, which is nice. Brawly's fight was yet another easy match, as Rowlet's flying type was too much for his macho fighting types to handle. I gotta say, Rowlet is feeling more like my starter than Pikachu is at this point. For May's fight, we had to throw everyone into this battle. Even with the Light Ball boost, Pikachu is still a really weak Pokemon on account of its moveset. Rowlet also went down in this match, but thankfully Rockruff was able to hold her own thanks to Combusken getting paralyzed by Pikachu. Great teamwork for a narrow victory. There is just no way we are beating Watson in our current condition. We need to level up and get better moves if we want to have any hope of getting past this fight. No matter what challenge I'm doing in Hoenn, Watson is always an issue. While grinding, Rockruff reached level 25 and evolved into a mighty Lycanroc. I still have more training to do, but this is a good start. After getting everyone up to level 30, I took on Watson again, and now that Pikachu knows Thunderbolt, we were able to one-shot Magnemite. For Voltorb, I switched into Rowlet to preserve Pikachu for Magneton, as Rowlet handles Voltorb fairly easily. Last out is Magneton, who finishes off Rowlet as Pikachu comes in and defeats Watson after just 2 Thunderbolts. That went much smoother than I was anticipating. In the Fiery Path, we now get our 4th member of the team, Litten, whom we capture, and after looking at her stats, I see she has a timid nature, which is actually really good. I waited until level 18 to evolve Litten into Torracat so that she could learn Double Kick, which is good coverage for our team. Now to raise her up even more before Flannery. In Meteor Falls, we have yet another member of the team join us, this time in Meltan, who unfortunately is going to be our weakest member of the team because Ash only gives Melmetal 2 moves, and both of them are Steel-type attacks, so it doesn't bring a lot of coverage to the table. Our first fight against Team Magma's leader Maxie went very well, as Torracat was able to do this fight on her own. It would have been a lot quicker and easier if Maxie didn't keep healing Camerupt, but a win is a win nevertheless. Flannery's match was yet another easy one as I set up a Howl with Lycanroc and then proceed to sweep her entire team. Just like Maxie's fight, it would have been easier if she didn't heal her ace so much, but again, a win is a win nevertheless. For Norman's fight, I decided to lead off with Meltan since he evolves with max happiness in this game, and he did very well all things considered, as he was able to paralyze Slacking and max out his defense with acid armor. He almost brought the Big Ape down, but I was afraid he was going to get knocked out, so I switched in Lycanroc while Slacking was loafing. Lycanroc took out Norman's first Slacking, and we almost brought down his second as well, but our Rock Tomb missed, allowing Slacking's Focus Punch to connect and OHKO Lycanroc. From there, Torracat was able to take out Norman's other 2 Pokemon. A scary opponent, but we managed him very well. One final May fight, and we only needed Meltan and Pikachu to get us through this time around. I'm surprised Meltan's happiness isn't high enough to evolve just yet. Winona's gym wasn't an issue for Lycanroc. That is until Skarmory came out. Once Lycanroc went down, I had Meltan finish this fight, since Skarmory can't touch our little Hex Nut, and it was good for his friendship level. It's Tate and Liza time, and this match became scary when Lunatone set up a Calm Mind and took out 2 of my Pokemon. But once Pikachu came in, him and Lycanroc handled the Sentient Moon beautifully. We wound up losing our final Maxie fight on account of both Rowlet and Torracat getting knocked out by the grunts leading up to this fight, and we had no clear answer to Camerupt's Earthquake because of that. I went back into this fight with the fully healed team, and we still almost lost this fight. Ash's Alolan team has a serious weakness to ground-type attacks, which I'll keep in mind with Steven's fight. We eventually were able to get Camerupt down after throwing the kitchen sink at him, and for his last Pokemon Crobat, I had Meltan finish the fight and level up to 38, where he fittingly evolved right after. Talk about some anime plot armor. With the Cave of Origins now accessible to us, we finally grab our final member of our team, Poipole, who we unfortunately have to keep in the PC until we take out Groudon. Speaking of Groudon, in typical Ash Ketchum style, we avoid confrontation with the box art legendary instead of capturing it, as battling Groudon surely would have spelled doom for our team. Right away, I leveled up Poipole 1 level, and upon 1 level, he evolved into Naganadel. Naganadel? I still have no idea how to pronounce this Pokemon's name. I'm just gonna call him Naganadel. My first attempt against Wallace went horribly wrong, mostly because I forgot my Milotic has Ice Beam, which completely destroyed poor Rowlet. Without Rowlet, Wallace's Wish Cache completely wrecked shop on our team. Once again, showing off how fragile Ash's team is against ground types. On my second attempt, I got everyone into the 40s and led with Pikachu to try and force Wish Cache out, and it works! When Wish Cache came in, I hard switch into Rowlet, and after breaking through the confusion that was so generously granted to us by a water pulse, we took out the catfish as Pikachu was able to electrify his remaining fish. Ash has now successfully acquired all 8 Hoenn badges. At the end of Victory Road is a Wally fight, and I thought this match was going to be troublesome on account that I'm down 2 Pokemon because of my HM users. But Pikachu handled him pretty well, and Torracat came in handy as well before going down, leaving Lycanroc to finish this fight. Here is a look at our team one last time with our final movesets just outside the Elite Four. Starting things off, we have our starter Pikachu, who Ash never actually used in the champion fight, so I'll try to sparingly use him. Anyway, his moveset is Thunder, Iron Tail, Thunderbolt, and Quick Attack, the 4 most common moves used by Ash's Pikachu. Next up is Rowlet, who has Sky Attack to replace Brave Bird, Razor Leaf, Bullet Seed to replace Seed Bomb, and Feather Dance. Next, we have Lycanroc, who has Bite, Counter, Rock Slide to replace Stone Edge, and Rock Throw to replace Excel Rock. Next, we have Torracat, who has Revenge, Fire Blast, Fire Punch to replace Fire Fang, and Flame Wheel to replace Flame Charge. Up next is our eyesore Melmetal, who only knows Doom Desire and Meteor Mash to replace both Flash Cannon as well as Double Iron Bash. Melmetal is clearly the weakest link here, but when he hits like a truck. Last but certainly not least is Naganadel, who has Sludge Bomb, Signal Beam to replace X-Scissor, Dragon Claw to replace Dragon Pulse, and Thunderbolt. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's our team. Make your final guesses down below on whether or not our team can beat Steven Stone. Let's find out. First up in the Elite Four is Sydney, and this match scared the hell out of me as our Pokemon were dropping left and right. I'm starting to see a ton of flaws in Ash's team, as many of his Pokemon has similar weaknesses and half of his team isn't even fully evolved. How this kid became the champion of any region is honestly baffling to me at this point. Phoebe was easier than Sydney, which is something I don't get to say too often on this channel. Pikachu handled her Dusclops nicely, and Melmetal was doing very heavy damage to her team, that is until we lost all of our power points. Torracat managed to drop some Pokemon as well, and Rowlet finished the fight with a mighty Sky Attack. I'm not sure why Phoebe just kept going for Skill Swap against Rowlet, but it certainly helped us come out victorious in this match. So, we lost against Glacia. I was for sure thinking we could win this fight with Melmetal's Meteor Mashes, but Walrein is just way too bulky for us to handle. I'll have to come back at a higher level because there's no way we can win with our team's current stats. I came back into this fight with everyone a level or 2 below the level cap and gave the EXP share to Naganadel to help prevent us from over-leveling. And with our higher levels, we had a much easier time outmuscling Glacia's Pokemon, and I made much smarter move choices and predictions to help pull us through this fight. We took an absolute beating from Drake's Dragons on account that we kept getting the secondary status effects of his moves. Naganadel absolutely would have swept his team if Altaria wasn't so damn bulky, and if we didn't get paralyzed. Thank goodness for Lycanroc, or else this match was certainly going to end in another loss for us. We heal up our 5 fallen comrades and mentally and physically prepare ourselves for the final fight against Steven Stone. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the main event, Ash Ketchum versus Steven Stone. This battle starts off wonderfully as Skarmory goes down to a single Thunderbolt. Aggron came in and destroyed Pikachu, but Torracat was able to retaliate back. Metagross came in next, and I for sure thought our Fire Blast would have OHKO'd Metagross, but he survives in red and destroys us with an Earthquake. I sent in Naganadel, and thankfully Metagross wasn't in healing range after the Citrus Berry, so we were able to take him down with one Thunderbolt. Next was Claydol, who turned out to be the biggest issue as he set up both Light Screen as well as Reflect against us. Naganadel was a champion though, and took Claydol down with a crit Dragon Claw, as Steven furiously sends in Cradilly. As Cradilly comes in, the Reflect wears off, and we slam him hard with yet another crit from Sludge Bomb. Naganadel then survives an Ancient Power, and we go for a kill with Signal Beam, but Cradilly survives on what looks like 1 HP, and gets confused, but he busts through the confusion and takes out Naganadel. Melmetal comes in, and I knew Steven was going to heal, so I go for Meteor Mash, and we get a crit to take down the Ancient Plant as Armaldo comes in. Melmetal surprisingly outspeeds Armaldo and O-code him with the Meteor Mash, placing Ash's team in the Hoenn Hall of Fame. I hope you all enjoyed today's episode of this series, as it certainly was an interesting one to say the least. For the next episode, we're going to find out if Wallace really was worthy of being promoted to the champion status by taking on Steven in the Hoenn region yet again. So if you don't want to miss that episode, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Also, if you enjoyed this video and the idea behind it, leave a like, I greatly appreciate it. And finally, in the comment section, write down below what your favorite part of today's run was. This has been your boy Rare Boy, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace!
Red, white, and blue, yeah, I love this place.
Excuse me, did you just watch this video? You must have if you made it this far into the video. And yet you haven't liked, commented, shared, or subscribed. The Rare Boy working very hard on these videos. Please do the man a favor.